retarded. Do you read that one? Okay. So, and then he was like, "Oh, position, why did I have that one?" And I was like, "That's a great question." Because she asked a
I know.
question.
Are you
Now, when
taking
you
damage? No, you're
read
not.
historical
Yeah, exactly.
information like that, okay, you have to think time period. Very important because the word that the people used back then
Look at that.
may not have a negative connotation.
No, they're not
Right?
even playing.
Because sometimes
Yeah,
the
but-
word choices that they used may have been fine during that time period, early
You
1900s.
self-destruct.
But nowadays, we don't call people that, right? Because it's really crude and rude and disrespectful, right? So I said, when the author wrote this, and I don't know the year that he wrote it, and when they use it or quote it, it wasn't meant to be derogatory, like it wasn't meant to be mean-spirited during that time period. Because that's often how they would call people, okay? But nowadays, you don't use that word for people who have special needs, who have paralysis, who have, who are born with abnormalities. We don't use that word. So I said that's a really important point because when you read historical information, like when you're reading like U.S. history next year, right? Especially the Civil War and such, they may use terminologies that we don't use, like name calling that we're like, whoa, you don't call people those kind of names or racial names or little amounts, okay? But during that time period, sometimes it was just very natural to call it not in a derogatory way, but sometimes it could have been derogatory, okay, depending on usage. So he asked a really good question on that one. He goes, oh my goodness, I read this. I was kind of shocked that they would call something that. But I don't think it was meant as a derogatory or negative connotation. It was meant more like people who have special needs. But nowadays, you know and understand it, and you're an educated individual, right? You don't use that word. So, like you use maybe special needs. People sometimes are born.
Tell me
with
if there's
that.
a gold.
They have maybe genetic defects, or sometimes
I'll get
they
it
have
for
an
you.
accident, so they can't, or whatever it may be. So, or you could say, disabled, physically disabled, sometimes, right? Sometimes, and no fault of their own. Okay. So, here we go. Let's keep going. Yes, polio. Okay, Franklin is elected president. What do you have? Who have we called on?